Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is life. Connect with it. And Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food where Mama eats. Along with the McGuire Law Firm. Be kind today and tomorrow.
Hi friends, welcome to September's Inside Out. This month we feature 6 local nonprofits. Why? Well, because the plight of nonprofits is tougher than ever before. But you know what? We all know fundraising is tough, but their will to continue on is even tougher. And maybe by the end of the show, you'll be able to help one of them out financially. Who knows? We welcome you to Inside Out. This is the September edition. How I wish I was in Georgetown right now with my friend Zenobia, because she's always so much fun. But we're social distancing here with this FaceTime interview. Zenobia has started a beautiful garden, and boy, it's growing, well, magnificently. Wait till you see the pictures. Zenobia Harper joins us, and she has started a new nonprofit organization in Georgetown County. Tell us the name of it.
Oh my God, Diane, how are you?
So good to be with you, honey.
The name of the organization is the Gullah Preservation Society of Georgetown, South Carolina, Inc. And my husband and I started it a couple of years ago because we want to do a couple of things. We want to, for the most part, preserve and promote the history and the culture, the language, and the people, Gullah people. I think I told you earlier, Diane, I get sick and tired of getting kind of run over by Charleston and Beaufort.
Really?
And other places. And the story of Georgetown and the Gullah people of Georgetown is always lumped in with everybody else. Well, we have a history and a story and a people that are perfectly capable of standing on our own. The Gullah people are a product of the institution of slavery and rice as the main product, and Georgetown County was the seat of rice cultivation.
I once heard Jim Fitch with the Rice Museum say that Georgetown fed the world rice.
Absolutely. And so even though I am not trying to take anything away from Charleston or any of these other places, we want people to know the importance of rice culture, the Gullah Geechee people and the culture, and how it pertains to Georgetown. And we want to be able to stand on our own 2 feet.
Well, you are doing just that. I wanted to do this interview because I saw your Facebook page, and it was filled with wonderful farm items that have come from the garden that you have created in Georgetown. And so you are our food segment. Let's talk about food. What have you done this summer? Because people are going to be impressed with this.
Oh my God. You mentioned Jim Fitch. Jim, I decided that we were going to do a garden this year, something small. So Jim Fitch said to me, well, we'll have the garden tilled for you. So I said, well, that's wonderful. That'll get us started. So he donated the services of this gentleman who came and he till the garden. So when he got there, I got all big and bad, Diane, and I was like, well, since you've got all this equipment, let's just clear all this land. Wound up with almost a half an acre. So then once we got a half an acre tilled, we had to put stuff in the ground. We started out with watermelon, and I wanted the kids to have a variety of all the different types of fruits and vegetables. So instead of just doing regular watermelon, we did yellow meat watermelon. We did something called Kajari watermelons. We did sugar babies and then regular watermelons. And then I wanted eggplant because eggplant is beautiful. It's purple in most cases. It comes in all these different shapes and sizes. So instead of doing one type of eggplant, we did 5 or 6 different types of eggplant. So then we had to have 4 or 5 different kinds of cucumbers and all of these different types of tomatoes. One of the things that I really wanted to do Diane, was I wanted to make sure that the kids were exposed to historical crops. So we had to try rice. Even though we were in the middle of Georgetown, I wanted to see if we can get rice to grow, and we did. So we've got rice in the garden. We've got indigo in the garden because indigo was also a cash crop for us. Okra in the garden. We have 5 or 6 different types of okra. Okra comes from Africa. So we've got all these different things for the kids to see.
But where did the kids come from? I think that's a real important part. How did you round these kids up?
Well, I partnered with, I know you know the fabulous Dr. Tracy Swinton Bailey.
Love her.
Yes, and her program, her literacy program called Freedom Readers. So we partnered with with Freedom Readers. We also partnered with Arnett AME Church, which houses a Freedom Readers program. So we had the kids from Freedom Readers come out and be our ambassadors. So they come out and they learn in the garden. They use the garden as this big old outdoor classroom, and literacy is their main point. So they're still doing their literacy work. And Tracy has created this program called How Does Your Garden Grow? And it's a distance learning program. So what the kids do in the garden, the rest of the Freedom Readers family gets to enjoy it and learn from it virtually. So that's where the kids come from. So we have 15 kids that come every week. They usually come on Thursday, and they use the garden as this huge classroom. And Tracy does an awesome job of kind of creating curriculum around all of the projects that we have the kids do out in the garden.
It sounds great having 2 nonprofits partner together for the benefit of the kids. But knowing you've cooked some of this food because you didn't want the kids just to know what eggplant was in the garden. You wanted them to taste it.
Absolutely. And so we wanted them to know what it was. We wanted them to smell it. We wanted them to touch it. We wanted them to experience it in every way possible, including tasting it. And so just before the kids took a break, we did something called a taste of the GPS garden. And so we incorporated everything from the garden into some kind of a dish. So we had eggplant casserole, which they absolutely loved. My mother makes the best butter beans and okra you will ever put in your mouth. We had curried rice. We had squash. We had, oh my God, so many watermelon. We had Kajari melons. We had so many things. We had Crowder bees and peas. We had just everything. Tomatoes. We had a tomato salad. We had.
I want to be invited next time. You have a tasting.
And we challenged the kids, even if they had never tasted the dish before. We wanted them and encouraged them to try everything.
Now, Zenobia, what sort of goals do you have? Now, I'm sure you'll have a fall garden, but in addition to a fall garden, what are some of the future goals of this organization? Because I know you're after some funding. What would you do if you got some grants and some sponsors to cough up some dough?
Well, we would really love to expand it. Maybe work with children. We're working with kids once a week now. We would certainly expand the amount of kids that we work with, and maybe some of the other things that we grow. We're working with a wonderful gentleman. His name is Tim Chapman. He's a master gardener. And what we really want people to put across to people is that there are things that you can do with small pieces of land to create food in your community. So everything doesn't have to come out of Walmart or Food Lion, even though those things are fine. But we want to encourage and perhaps, get younger people to realize that land can be used for just a little bit of space in your yard, could be used to grow tons of food. So we would expand that reach, and try to get people to understand and learn about the history of Georgetown, the agricultural history of Georgetown. Keep young people informed about their history and their past, and not to be ashamed of it, but to learn from it, because there's so much to learn about the Gullah Geechee culture, and so much that we can use to take ourselves forward. It doesn't have to be just about the sadness of an era. There are lessons to be learned. And so we want kids to be proud of their Gullah Geechee heritage. We want them to be proud of their ancestors, and we want them to learn from that. So that's what we would do. We're not really a kids organization, but we want everybody to come out and learn about the history and the culture.
Now, most people know you, Zenobia, from your beautiful dolls. You've been making beautiful dolls for years and years, and they're all on display, of course, over at the Rice Museum. But I'm wondering, through your art, are you going to introduce the kids to any artistic things, Gullah-wise?
Oh, absolutely.
So not just food.
Oh, no. So we're already doing awesome projects. As a matter of fact, we did an art project with birdhouses, and the Rice Museum put them on display for us. And so art is also very important to what we do with the kids.
Well, in our last minute, I know you want to thank the Georgetown community because you told me they've been incredibly supportive of this endeavor.
Yes, and so first of all, I got to thank my husband, Jerry Harper. I love you so much, and thank you for just always entertaining all of this crazy stuff I want to do. Thank you to my mom. Thank you to Arnett AME Church for supporting us and providing water. Thank you to the people who own the land for allowing us to plant on your ground. Thank you to the Rice Museum and Jim Fitch. Thank you to all of the people who have dropped off seeds, dropped off plants, dropped off fertilizer. Thank you to Tim Chapman, who's a wonderful master gardener, for helping guide us through this stuff. And thank you to Tracy Bailey and Freedom Readers and Cassandra Jackson with Freedom Readers. And for all of the people that are going to be mad because I forgot to say thank you to you all as well.
Zenobia, you're the best, and I really look forward, once this virus is over, for you and Jerry and Chuck and I to get together for dinner.
Absolutely. We'll eat rice out of the garden.
I know it'll be good. Thanks, Zenobia. In days gone by, cropping and curing tobacco was no fun. Learn more next on Inside Out.
No matter where the day takes me, HTC provides the high-speed internet services I need. HTC delivers faster speeds, 24/7 local tech support, and free in-home Wi-Fi right here to Horry and Georgetown counties. As trusted community members serving up world-class internet service, I know HTC will keep my family connected to what matters most. Because you are here, and so are we.
High-speed internet starting at 100 megabits per second. Call today.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food, where Mama eats.
I'm social distancing here with Walter Hill at the L.W. Paul Living History Farm, Harris Shortcut Road in Conway, right off of 701. And today is usually a bigger day than it was today, and tell us why.
So that's right, Diane. Normally we have our big Tobacco Heritage Day out here with hundreds of people, but because we're dealing with COVID, we wanted everybody to feel safe, so we're doing this program much smaller, sort of an abbreviated version of it, so people can still come out, see we're still gathering tobacco, we're still going to be curing it, but most importantly, we want to remind you that although we're still dealing with COVID, this fall we're going to make a great place to come out to. We'll still be doing our events. They may be coming in a different format, but keep an eye out for what the Horry County Museum and the L.W. Paul Living History Farm are doing over the upcoming months.
Walter, I know November's always a big month for you, and what's going to be happening then?
So Diane, this November we're going to be making syrup. So bring the family out, visit with Minnie while she pulls the cane mill to make cane syrup here on the farm for one of our other seasonal events.
Sounds like fun. And you sell syrup in the store too at the L.W. Paul Living History Farm. You can buy some syrup and all sorts of jams, jellies, honeys. Don't miss out. Right now we're going to meet up with a man who has been dealing with tobacco since he was 7 years old. Yes, this is Larry Woodall. And Larry, you grew up in the Cates Bay area. How old were you when you first started working tobacco?
First started working tobacco, I was about 7 or 8 years old. Made $2 a day driving the mule from the field to the barn and back all day for $2 and thought I'd died and gone to heaven. Except Mama framed the first $2 I made. It took me a while to get it back. I did that up until probably the 11th grade in high school, and then I started driving a school bus, and in the summertime I started working at the beach with a company over there selling postcards. And then once I graduated from high school, then I went off to college and said never again. And
put up your overalls.
had to pull them back out. I told a fib. I loved remembering it. And I went to school with Larry Paul, and I started coming out here, and the first thing you know, I've been volunteering here and at the museum, and I love it. It's something going on all the time out here.
Larry, it is so hot out here. I am dripping perspiration. I know I look like a raccoon with mascara under my eyes. How on earth did people work tobacco in this heat, and then they had no air conditioning to go back into?
Well, that was it.
Ah!
You didn't have air conditioning, so all you knew was open the window while you were in the house and let the breeze come through. So it was hot, it was sweaty, dirty job, but you'd wash up, and it wasn't all that hot because you didn't have air conditioning.
Right, you weren't used to it.
You weren't used to it, so that was the big thing.
So what season did tobacco actually start? Do you plant in the spring?
You plant in the spring in beds, and then once the tobacco gets up kind of tall, you set it out in the fields, and then try to keep the grass and weeds out of it, and then when the bottom leaves start turning yellow, then the cropping starts.
And that's about the middle of July to the middle of August sometime.
Yeah.
So we see people doing that out here in the fields. They're cropping the bottom, and then what happens?
Well, then it's brought up to the barn to string the tobacco. Usually the ladies and the kids are handing and stringing the tobacco. And then at the end of the day, you had to hang everything that's in the barn. You had to spread it out all the way from the top down. You would have to stand at least three people on the rafters, one facing this way, one this way, and one this way. And you would pass the tobacco up stick by stick to the top, and he would spread it out so that when you put the heat to it, the heat would rise and cure it all at the same time. And then once you got the barn full, you just light the fire, and somebody sit there for 7 days, 7 nights, making sure the temperature stayed the right temperature. And then you have to take it out of the barn because you're going to get ready to fill the barn up again, because you crop it once a week, each field once a week, and to keep up with the way it ripens.
So Larry, once it's cured, then what? Does it go to auction, and how does that work?
Well, it has to be graded and tied, and then you put it on a pallet, take it down, and sell it at the auction. And that was a fun time. All the farmers would come to town on Saturday. They'd have the auction going on, and people selling boiled peanuts or parched peanuts, and just everything was going on Saturday. And the farmer would make his money, he'd buy whatever the family needed, and then come next spring, he'd go borrow money again to get his seed, to get the planting done and everything. It was just a continuous cycle, but it's one that people loved and hated all at the same time.
And finally, what did Mama do while y'all were out in the fields?
Mama usually got up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. She'd cook dinner, and we would get up, come eat that for breakfast. 6 o'clock, we'd be in the field cropping. And then she would feed everybody for lunch. Usually you'd have 6, 8, 10 different kinds of vegetables, 2 or 3 kinds of meat, biscuits, and after that, everybody laid out under the trees for about an hour before they went back, because you couldn't go straight back.
The afternoon siesta.
The afternoon siesta. It was definitely a family affair. Everybody got involved.
It was a hot family affair, I can tell you that. Thank you so much, Larry, and come on out and visit the L.W. Paul Living History Farm, especially during this COVID period where sometimes you're locked in the house. It's a great place to browse and enjoy even having a picnic. Coming up, Healthy Concepts offers leadership skills to those in the Socastee and Burgess area. Proper serving, proper distancing. We're into safety at Magnolia's. Our staff now plates your food with all your favorite choices from the buffet, salad bar, and dessert bar, and it's still all you can eat. There's also breakfast, evening, and an expanded Sunday buffet. Mama says she can't cook it that cheap. Plus, the kids will love the yummy ice cream machine. Magnolia's, good old Southern comfort food. It's where Mama eats. It doesn't seem possible, but it was 14 years ago in September when the Myrtle Beach Pavilion closed. My husband and I were both there to capture the highlights, and we thought you'd like to see the final video. It's called Hard to Say Goodbye. I wrote the words, Steve Marino wrote the music, and it was sung by Gary Brown. I know you'll enjoy these great memories because it truly was hard to say goodbye.
Carousel again, spending time with my summer friend. Yeah, the pavilion was the range. In Myrtle Beach I came of age, on that South Carolina shore that I'll adore forevermore. But it's so hard to say goodbye, old friend. Days would ever end. Yes, it's so hard to say goodbye. So let's take just one more ride and blow a kiss, 'cause it's so hard to say goodbye. In the magic attic I learned to dance. It's been a lifelong summer romance. The seasons have changed and so did I. Every year I stop back by to relive those good times that were made in the park and in the arcade. And now my kids and their kids too all have sweet memories of you. You gave them, like me, the chance for a lifelong summer romance. Now it's so hard to say goodbye, old friend. I never dreamed these happy days would ever end. Yes, it's so hard to say goodbye. So let's take just one last ride and blow a kiss, 'cause it's so hard to say goodbye.
We are ready to meet Lisa Melendez. She heads up an organization called Healthy Concepts in the Burgess and Socastee community. It's a 5-year-old organization. However, it's changed a lot over the years. And so bring us up to date. What does the organization, this nonprofit, do now, Lisa?
Yes, thank you for having me on. So yes, we have changed throughout the years, but right now we are focused on the bullying epidemic that our country is facing. And so we work with children in the community to combat bullying and improve self-esteem in a safe and nurturing environment.
And in addition to bullying, I'm sure that encompasses leadership.
Yeah, so the program, in addition to bullying, which is really just a fraction of what we do, it's an empowerment and leadership program for our young people and give them some independent living skills and some stewardship, working with the community. And we are that bridge between the parents and the child, and we are that other adult that the parents can depend on and the kids can trust to be able to talk to in this crazy time that we live in.
Is it an after-school program then, Lisa?
It was an after-school program. We actually ran out of money, and that is our biggest issue. We don't have any grant money. All of our staff are volunteer workers. So with this pandemic, everything stopped, of course. And so we're in the process of trying to get some grant money, and that is our fear. So if we can get some grant money, if there's a philanthropist out there that wants to be able to help us get back on track, it is true that our children are our future, and we are all ready and willing to be able to work with our kids to get their schoolwork done, since we are unsure of what's going on with the school system right now, and also just to have guidance and be there for those kids. Lots of latchkey children are in the state of South Carolina. 40,000 children are latchkey kids.
You told me, though, that over the past 5 years, you've seen such wonderful things happen, how you've helped kids turn their lives around. Tell me how you and your husband learned about these kids. I know you have a karate school as well.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have a karate studio on Homestown Road, and so we work with a lot of children and parents. And so this is where we get a lot of our kids when we had the after school program, but just clients of mine that I've had in some other businesses that I do. And we've actually helped save the life of a 10-year-old boy who was being bullied in school. And one of our after school participants spoke with him about some of the stuff that he's learned and how to support each other. And that boy now is in counseling, and he really did help to save his life. So we're very, very proud that that happened.
If you can get the right funding through grants or that philanthropist you'd like to see, what are some of the things you'd like to do with Healthy Concepts in the future?
Yeah, great question. We need a space. We also lost our space when we lost our funding. So although we have the staff ready to go, we don't have a location, although we did pick out a location and it's still available that leads to the wellness center that we have in the karate studio. So when the kids are online doing their homework and getting the things that they need to do academically, they can come upstairs and do some socialization while social distancing and keeping all of the sanitation in place so that we could all be safe.
Lisa, tell me a little bit too about why you do this. I know you have not only the karate school with your husband, you sell real estate, you're a massage therapist, you do so many things, and yet you find time to volunteer.
Absolutely. We love children. My husband and I tried for almost 8 years to get pregnant. We were blessed with a child. I say we have about 70 kids because all of the children at the karate studio are like our children, and all of the adults are our extended family. So that's actually how my husband and I met. We ran an after-school program for at-risk youth in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and we just continued. We came full circle. So we worked for a nonprofit 25 years ago, and now we started our own. So it's very personal for us, and we just really enjoy doing it. It's our passion.
So Lisa, in wrapping up the conversation, we know you need a good philanthropist, we know you need funding, but what else can the community do? How about a grant writer?
That would be fantastic if we can get a grant writer. If you are watching this and you are willing and able to volunteer, if you've worked with children before, teens, please give us a call. Please reach out. We can use your help. our youth can use your help so that we can move this forward.
And then two, I bet you could use some people who might be retired, who have been guidance counselors or former teachers.
Yes.
You need people too.
Yes, yes. It sounds like you would be perfect.
But I'm like you, I've got several jobs.
I know, yes. So we can use all the help that we can get from the community. Maybe join maybe join the board if you want to join a committee. So there's lots of things that the community could step in and help with this cause.
Healthy concepts in Burgess and Socastee community. If you'd like to help, there's the information on the screen. Just give Lisa a call. Lisa, thanks for all you're doing for our young people.
Thank you for having me.
Put on your tennis shoes and let's enjoy nature. It's Myrtle Beach State Park. Coming up.
Honey, I think I'll adjust the thermostat. It's getting a little cool.
Mom, you don't have to get up to do that. I've installed the HTC Connected Home app on your phone. See, you can adjust the temperature from anywhere. Okay, Mom, I've got to go. Thanks for house sitting. Make sure to lock the door and set the alarm.
No problem. I have everything I need right here.
HTC Self-Install Kit, $0 with 36-month monitoring commitment.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
Well, with all the time we've been spending in our homes, with fall, it's time to get out and enjoy Mother Nature. And Mother Nature is with us right now. You could at least call her that. She's a naturalist at Myrtle Beach State Park. It's Ann Wilson. And Ann, golly, you've been in this job for how long now?
25 years.
That's a quarter of a
My
century.
entire adult life.
Oh my goodness. This is home for you and you're not leaving. And we're glad. So fill me in on some of the great things we could do for fall at Myrtle Beach State Park to get out and enjoy nature.
So the first place I always go, I don't care what season it is at Myrtle Beach State Park, I always go to the fishing pier. I've had some of my best moments in my 25-year career at the fishing pier. So in the fall, you never know what's going to be what's biting. So whether or not you like to fish, the fishing pier is still a great place to go. So if you like to fish, you might be able to still catch some spots, some blues, some whiting, and some trout. But if you don't like to fish, that's okay because it's still a great place to walk out. And you might still in the fall still see, if you're really lucky, a sea turtle surface. You can see sharks for sure, stingrays. And then in the fall, as we get later into the fall, so October, November, more and more dolphins are migrating from up north going south. And so dolphins could be quite coming off the pier. So you just never know what you're going to see. You could see great bird life. I love going to the pier because every time you go, it's always different.
Should people bring all their own gear?
You can bring your own gear to fish. You do have to pay to fish on the pier, or you can rent a pole.
Now, what about crabbing? Is crabbing good in the fall?
So crabbing in the fall, and the one thing with the fishing pier is you're probably not going to catch a meal. What hopefully you're going to catch is you could catch a diversity of crabs. So you could catch blue crabs, which you can't eat if they're 5 inches and over and not with eggs. But you might catch some speckled crabs or lady crabs or blotch swimming crabs or hermit crabs or fish or maybe even a cannonball jellyfish, which is not going to sting you. So the fun with crabbing off the fishing pier, because you're in the ocean, you just don't know what you're going to catch. If you go to a salt marsh, you're probably going to catch a blue crab.
But at least you're outside and social distancing and enjoying the environment. Fill me in on the turtle season. How has it been?
So the turtle season, because we had such a huge record-breaking year last year, a lot of people are thinking this is not a good turtle year for the entire state of South Carolina. And I'm here to tell you this is our third best season for the entire state of South Carolina in 25 years. So when you have 8,800 nests last year, and then you have about 5,400 nests this year, that's a big drop, but that's still the third best year we've had in my 25-year career for the state. We've had a good year. The hurricane did a little damage to some of the nests in the northern part of the coast, but it wasn't a statewide event, so that's good news. Dorian last year was a statewide event, and it wiped out a lot of nests, but this one was just northern South Carolina and took out some nests. We did lose some nests, but we still have plenty of nests that have survived, and we'll see how they do.
Do you still need some volunteers for next turtle season?
Next turtle season, we'll probably need some new volunteers. It just all depends. First, we got to get through this season, and I'll be honest, we got to get through COVID. This was a strange season this year due to COVID. Because of social distancing guidelines and everything, we were unable to utilize volunteers like we have in the past. We could only do, teams of 2, and when we do like the public inventories after a nest emerges, and then we dig it up to find out how successful the nests were, where we'd have 100 to 200 people, DNR has forbidden us to do public inventories like that this season for good reason. It's impossible social distance, but everybody wants to see one little turtle. So, it's been very different and harder for the volunteers this year because they've really had to put their love of sea turtles in the forefront of just making sure that turtles are healthy and protected, and put their wanting to be close to turtles and work together and get closer with other volunteers to the side this year. It's been an interesting challenge this year.
Fill me in on camping for fall.
Camping is a great time to come in the fall, and we've been busy all season long. And I will say this, especially along the coastal campsites, no longer can you just go, hey, it's really nice this weekend, let's go get a campsite. You may not have a campsite you want. You can't always just make plans at the last second anymore. Sometimes that works for you, but you want to kind of book further out. And we do have camping that, for a big RV with water and sewer to just the little campsites that have just, you still might have electricity and water, and campsites, it's like dynamic pricing now. All prices are all over the map depending on when you book and everything like that. It's and social distance and, a short walk to the beach.
Hiking, nature trails.
So we have at the park, we have a mile's worth of beach at Myrtle Beach State Park, Huntington Beach State Park at 2 miles. Both parks have a lot of nature trails that you can go on. We have a mile-long Sculpture Oak and Yopon Nature Trail that we do have a lot of plant signs on the trail that you can learn about plants. Fall can be good birding for the warblers, the neotropical migrants, warblers and vireos coming back or going south for the winter, going down to Central and South America to spend the winter months. And so if we get a good fallout, it can be great because we have that maritime forest, the forest by the sea. So, come to Myrtle Beach State Park and see the only maritime forest by the sea left in Horry County that is accessible on a daily basis. All the other ones, you have to have special permission to gain admission to. So it's a really special place at only 312 acres with over 1 million visitors. It's a busy place.
And Ann, one more thing. Let's remind people to get an annual pass.
Annual pass is what a great deal. So for $99, you and 14 of your closest friends can gain admission to every single South Carolina state park for an entire year. You cannot beat that price. And so, if you're driving by the park and you're like, oh, let's just go to the pier and we only have 15 minutes. You just zip on in, see, and then maybe when you're at the pier, you see a dolphin. That was worth it. And so this park admission pass, it's such a good deal. And it really does help support South Carolina state parks because we don't get many tax dollars. We are self-supporting.
So don't forget, friends, we're the only community with 2 state parks. Ann's Park, that's Myrtle Beach State Park, and then there's Huntington Beach State Park down toward Pawleys Island. And so get out and enjoy. Fall is here. Thanks, Ann.
Thank you. It was great talking to you, Diane.
All nonprofit organizations need our help, and Spokes of Hope is no exception. You'll hear all about it next on Inside Out.
As fellow community members, HTC believes in helping friends and neighbors protect what matters most. With integrated home technology, I can control my home and security system from my smartphone. HTC Security makes my job easier and keeps my world running smoothly, no matter where the day takes me. HTC brings reliable, world-class security right here to Horry and Georgetown counties because you are here, and so are we.
Upgrade your security with a video doorbell from HTC.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
This segment of HTC Inside Out is presented by the McGuire Law Firm. Be kind today and tomorrow.
There's so many wonderful nonprofits in our community, and I met up with a new one that I didn't know about. It's called Spokes of Hope out of Highway 9. Actually, they're located in the old HB Spokes building, and Spokes of Hope is going strong, especially right now after the latest hurricane. I want you to meet their executive director. This is Shane Zaccoli, and Shane and his family right now are sitting in a car waiting to get out of Cherry Grove to help a woman who was flooded out in the hurricane. Shane, first tell us, how did Spokes of Hope begin back in 2018?
Hello, everyone. I would say there was a specific date. It was September 14th, 2018, when Hurricane Florence was circling off the coast of us, just north of us, and that was a day of landfall and kind of a day of commitment with me, just telling the Lord that I wanted to be active in the community more so, that I was willing to help people. And so mentally, September 14th was a very crucial day for our decision with a small group of people. And from that point on, it has been a roller coaster for the Lord, but it's been a good one.
So I know your background is construction. So you started out trying to help people repair homes after hurricanes, and especially back in 2018. And now that continues, but you got involved with food as well.
Yeah, we had a church that doesn't even have a church within an hour radius of North Myrtle Beach, Longs, Myrtle Beach area. It was Foursquare Church. And they literally reached out and said, hey, we see what you're doing in the community. We want to partner with you and help you. No strings attached. We just know you're going to have hungry people, because they have a worldwide disaster relief company through their church. It's Foursquare Disaster Relief. So we partnered with them, and the semi-loads started coming. And then Terry Henshaw is a good friend from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's tied to a large church there, Victory Church, and he has a 501c3 called 180 Disaster Relief. And he come across from the Midwest and stayed with us and showed us how to do food distributions. And since then, it's just the partnerships have continued. Once we stayed through that process of helping the people for Florence, they said, keep it going. Let's just keep it going. And then the property came available through Mrs. Fowler, Renee at HB Spokes, and that was flooded as well, and no electricity. And we've been able to fortunately build the place back with volunteers, and the semis keep coming. We're part of a couple food programs I'll talk to you about here in a second. But yeah, we never know what we're getting into. We just know we're willing to help, and it's been wonderful.
Shane, tell me about the food trucks, though, that are coming, because every time I've talked to you on the phone to set up this interview, you were unloading a truck.
Yeah, through Farmers to Families. So our current administration had a chance to buy produce from all the farmers in the United States, or it would go to waste. All that product was purchased by our government, and then they have partnered with Farmers to Families and all these different produce companies, and they're bringing produce to all over the nation. So we have partnered with two big organizations, and the main one is Convoy of Hope out of Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, and they have blessed our community with so much product. We don't like today. We had 3 semis today. One was 1,500 boxes of produce. The other was full of water. 28 pallets of water, 40,000 pounds of water gifted to us. And then there was a second truck come in that was supposed to be here tomorrow, but it came today, and it was also 40,000 pounds of water. Constant product just coming in. And then we do on Fridays, we set up a big car distribution line through our parking lot, and then from 10 until 2, we offer what we have. So sometimes it's produce, sometimes it's meat, sometimes it's non-perishable items, waters and fluids, and just whatever we have, we share. But importantly to us, we pray with every car. We just tell them that there's hope in this hopeless situation. Sometimes there's always the Lord to turn to, and we just offer hope in our parking lot.
Hence the name Spokes of Hope. Now, tell me what you and your family, you're all loaded up in that car, ready to help some woman who was flooded out with this recent hurricane. What are you getting ready to do?
Her name's Natalie, and yesterday, after the hurricane went through, I got up early in the morning and drove to Spokes, checked our big tent down there, made sure it didn't blow away, and then I just drove up through Cherry Grove, and in the disaster world they call that assessing. So I was just driving around and got into kind of the offshoots of Duffy Street into Cherry Grove, and just seen a woman sitting there on her bench with her face in her hands and just crying. And so I pulled in and just said, "Hi, how are you doing?" And she said, "Not good." And I said, "Well, we're just a community center. We're named Spoke." So I just told her about us a little bit, and I prayed with her and said, "We'd love to help you. There's no strings attached. We just have a group of people that just want to save you time and money and take that burden off you and just make life a little easier right now because it's tough." It was her mother's house. Her mother just had passed away. And so we're here today, and we're going to pull everything out that's destroyed, put it on the curb, pack all these boxes that are going to be her personal things, and we'll put them in storage for her, and then start cutting out the drywall and start that remedial process that occurs with mold so we just can stop the mold. So.
Shane, you make me want to cry. That was just beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for what you're doing for Natalie. In wrapping up, tell me about the center itself. If people come to that old location of HB Spokes, what can they do at the facility?
Well, we're usually there 5 days a week, sometimes Saturdays, but we've been in such a reactive state. Our proactive goals are set, and we know what we want to accomplish as a community center. Because you think of a community center, there's so many definitions, but for us, there's 329,000 people that live in Horry County. 321,000, the consensus in, I think, 2019. If we all just helped each other out a little bit, it becomes this place that we gather furniture that people don't want anymore that's good. We gather appliances. When someone buys new appliances, they have old. We just gather and gather and gather. And then we have this other side that has a need. So we have people that want to give, and we have people that need things, and we just make them connections. And we move about the community. We pick up with our trailer appliances or bedding and things, and just we've run into a situation yesterday. A mother with 5 kids is going to be out of a home, and on Friday she'll be homeless. And we found a place for her to stay. We'll give her food and fill her freezers. We're part of the Tyson Charity family. We pick up random loads of chicken all over the countryside, and we drive around and bring back protein and food for our community. So it's clothing, it's food, it's ministry, it's prayer, it's appliances, it's elderly, it's shut-ins, it's young kids, it's old. It's just everybody being and working together for one purpose, just the body of Christ, just help.
And so finally, you could use some more volunteers, and we're going to tell people how to find you.
Yeah, you can go a couple ways you can find us. Our Facebook page, obviously, it's Spokes of Hope SC for South Carolina. We have a little group there that, we never would imagine it would have 1,300 members in it, but we started small, and we're just growing small together and doing it one heart at a time. It's important not to go big. God does the big stuff. We just do the individual hands and feet things. And so you can go to Spokes of Hope SC on our Facebook and just join that group, or spokesofhopesc.com, and that'll show you the different things we do and what we have to offer. And we don't ask for money too much. We just know God provides that. It's wonderful to have money to pay the monthly bills, but God gives us what we need. So if you want to work for the community and partner in a way that you have a special gift that you have to offer, we'd love to know what it is, because we literally are running into every aspect of life to help somebody that could be in that situation that I'm not a specialized at, you're not a specialized at, but there's someone in our community that has that knowledge to help. So we're just building relationships right now. So just come and sit with us and talk with us, and we'd like to get to know you, and then, God will find a place for you.
Thank you so much, Shane. If you're looking for family, if you're looking for a way to help our community, you can join this group of angels, Spokes of Hope, Highway 9, at the former location of HB Spokes. Thanks a bunch, Shane. God bless you.
Thanks.
Hear the story of caring in our lifetime when we return on Inside Out.
The bedrock principle that drives our law firm is our unyielding dedication to working for the best interests of our clients.
The whole staff of the firm were very welcoming and nurturing to us. Everyone in the family was cared for.
This firm has made us feel so welcome and comforted, stepping us through and making us feel like family.
We will take care of you and make sure that you're treated fairly and treated properly.
The nonprofit organization known as Caring in Our Lifetime has been around for 23 years. I remember doing the first TV interview for this organization, and my friend Sally Peebles, who's with us today, was involved even then. Sally, tell us how it all got started.
It started as a one-time event. We held it at Studebaker's, and it was to help a former coworker who had been diagnosed with breast cancer. She had insurance, but this was something to help her with the additional bills that were coming along, the co-pays and everything. So we wanted to do something for her, and the one-time event is now a 23-year-old organization. Somewhere along the way, we went through the process and became an official nonprofit. And here we are today.
You have a board, you have volunteers, and I know a lot of times women who have had breast cancer come and join you just to be able to help others who might not have the funds to pay for all the medical issues.
Absolutely. We do have some volunteers whose family has been actually a recipient of ours, and one of our big supporters and board members actually is a breast cancer survivor. So we definitely get paid back along the way with some great women and volunteers.
How has the organization changed over 23 years? Because I know you've run the gamut helping people, women with breast cancer, going through all kinds of things.
Well, definitely we started out without anyone knowing what we were doing, who we were. So we've definitely gained a lot of momentum along the way with the community hearing about us, word of mouth, learning about us, and just wanted to step up and help. So we've been just blessed with a lot of local and community support, but also we definitely got more organized. Like I said, we used to partner with the American Cancer Society. And then about, I'd say 5 to 7 years into it, we decided to go on and become our own nonprofit. And we went through all the legal things to make that happen.
Do you help women with all types of cancer or just breast cancer?
It is just breast cancer. We are a very small group. And in order to best serve and hone in on one thing that we can do, it is breast cancer, and it's for patients in Horry or Georgetown counties.
Let's talk about how you go in and negotiate with the hospitals. This is fascinating.
We allocate typically $15,000 per patient. And what that $15,000 typically does is it covers about $45,000 to $50,000 in medical bills because of the ability to go in and negotiate with the hospitals and doctors, and of course these centers being willing to negotiate with us and really help us because we are a nonprofit.
And isn't it surprising how you can negotiate? I guess that's a surprise to a lot of people that, if you've got some money and cash and the hospitals can get paid fast, negotiation's good.
Sure is. And I think it's being done more in the mainstream medical field these days, but we've been doing that all along, and we're very cognizant of being good stewards of this money. I mean, and sometimes it's heartbreaking, but these dollars do go straight to the medical center to help cover medical bills. We are not able to help our idea is we help on that side so that they can focus on what they need to do at home and give them a little bit more peace of mind on that end.
We want people to know there's no salaries with this organization. It's all nonprofit, all volunteers, women helping other women. Now, Sally, let's talk too about some of the fundraisers that y'all have had over the years that help you raise the funds to help these women.
And once again, that goes back to just being so blessed with the great community support through the years. We've had everything from the BFF Pink Ribbon Run, which has happened many years, the Duplin Winery wine tastings that we've done.
You said that with a smile. You said that with a smile. You like that wine, don't you, Sally?
Love the Duplin wine and love the staff and just the team there. Harley Davidson has always been a big supporter of ours. Carolina Regional Cancer Center has always been a big supporter. And we have some fundraisers that are $200 and we have some fundraisers that are thousands. And that's the beauty of it too. Everyone pitches in and does what they can to help. Angie Capone has always had Rock the Ribbon in honor of her cousin. So that's always been a nice thing too. So we've just had a lot of different things, everything from wine to Harleys to boxing matches and everything in between.
How do you come up with the women that you help?
We solicit through the doctor's offices, first of all, and then try to just make sure through social media that people are aware that this is available and sort of take it from there. At any given time, we're juggling, say, 10 to 12 patients, I would say.
I guess like most nonprofits, though, Sally, you certainly could use some more volunteers and board members.
Yes, we certainly can. We are always needing people in the fall when that's our typically bigger time of the year with fundraisers, and always looking for good people. And even if you have time to be a board member, hey, we will gladly accept you and welcome great new ideas.
What's the question that people most ask you about this organization?
The question that I get quite often is, so what happened to the lady that was the inspiration behind this organization? And I'm very happy to say that she went on to beat the disease. She became our board president for a while. She's been an active volunteer, and she recently moved to the Raleigh area. So she's still close enough, but just happy to say that she's healthy and going strong.
Sally, it's a wonderful organization, and all of you on that board, as well as the other volunteers that are not on the board, Caring in Our Lifetime has become a family.
Thank you so much for all of your support. We certainly appreciate it.
Caring in Our Lifetime, if you would like to reach out to them, become a board member or a volunteer, or you know of someone who is in tremendous need of help dealing with breast cancer, Sally is the person to call. Thanks, Sally.
Thank you so much.
Next month here on Inside Out, we're going to meet up with a man who makes his own wine, a woman who makes her own soap, and some prize-winning cows. Now, doesn't that make you want to tune in? Put it on your calendar, October's Inside Out. I'll see you then. And I better move before I get hit with a golf ball, and it wouldn't be a pretty obituary. See you next month.
Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is Life. Connect with it. And Magnolia's at 26th for good old-fashioned Southern comfort food where Mama eats. Along with the McGuire Law Firm. Be kind today and tomorrow.